My name is Nancy Oblete. I'm married to Francis Oblete, and together we are blessed with two beautiful girls. I'm a marriage coach, a public speaker, and a teacher. Basically, that's who I am. Okay, so I graduated from the University of Jos in 2008 with a BSc building. So, but my motivation went way before that. As a child, as a teenager growing up at home, at some point, I think I was between 15, 16, my parents hit a bump in the road in their relationship. And I remember that being a child and being at home during those periods was very painful. I didn't enjoy staying at home. I'd always look for opportunities to stay out of the house, go to church, do other activities that kept me away from the home. And I remember that in those times, I made a promise to myself that whatever it would take me to make my home, my marriage, where my children will always want to come, a peaceful and loving and harmonious place, I was going to do it. So fast forward, after school and all, I started practicing construction. In fact, at that time, my entire life was I was designing it around the construction industry and all. We had done premarital counseling with my husband to get married. So our counselors, Mr. and Mrs. Usa, picked us. They asked us to join us, I think just a year or so after our wedding, to join us. They said that they saw in us qualities that would make us good coaches or counseling in that sphere, so we should come learn with them and also work with them. So that's how my journey started. So initially it was about me and my marriage, and eventually, as I continued to arm myself with tools, I began to realize that there are many more people out there who are in marriages, who want to have peace, who want to have stability, but are in a place where they don't know how. Because I keep asking myself, what if my parents had help when they were in that place, so that they didn't need to stay there for that long? They would have resolved their issues earlier, and then we would have had more harmony at home. So basically, that's my motivation, to help make the world a better place, because I know family is the unit of the society. It is pivotal to how a society grows and what takes place in a society. So I decided to offer myself to help other people. It now becomes our life's purpose and dream, to help other people have that marriage, have that home that will give them the stability and springboard to do whatever they want to do. And public speaking is just another way we reach out to these people to let them know that there's possibility of having that home that they want to have if they just know how to run it. So the journey has been interesting. I've met people that, if not that I was on this journey, I probably would never have met. I've had friends, I've had people say to me, Nancy, thank you so much. God bless you. You've changed my world. You've made a mark in our lives that we will never forget. So for me, that's the joy. That's the joy of being here, that we are able to do little things in our own small space to make people more comfortable in their homes, make people happy, make people free to live out their dreams. So for me, that's the biggest joy. But it's not without challenges though. One of the challenges we face is that, especially for someone like me that does not carry the official title or does not carry the title of a pastor, and being in a country like Nigeria where we are very religious, and more people will prefer to go to their religious leaders, whether to their malams or to their pastors, to get help. So some people feel like we are not qualified, in quotes, to give them help, because marriage to them is a more spiritual affair than something that psychology can handle, they say. So we've had that challenge for people opening up. Now, even though I'm a Christian and I believe that the Bible is the basis for whatever we do, my practice is open to everybody, whether Christian or Muslim, anybody that wants help and is ready. So we are not necessarily a faith-based, we don't do faith-based operations. We open our operations to everybody that is willing to do those things, to learn and to do those things that will make their marriages work. So for some people it's a challenge. They feel like, why should I go to somebody who doesn't stick to one faith or stick by following the doctrines of one faith? But I believe that science in itself is one of the biggest gifts that God has given us. It has made our world beautiful. We have technology. I'm able to speak to you because of the gift of science. We have medicine, and we are free to go to the hospitals. We access medical care. Even when we pray for divine healing, we access medical care and we accept it. So I still really cannot understand the logic when it comes to accepting other forms of help that are not spiritual, or let's say spiritual or religious based. I think that's the better word, religious based. So we have that issue with acceptance. But for me, the one that is dearest to my heart and pains me the most is when we have challenges with people coming in and wanting help, but just one partner, and the other partner has probably checked out on the marriage. It's hurtful. I remember one time a man called me and he kept calling me for days. He was asking me, please help me save my marriage, help me save my marriage. My wife is about to walk out on us and I want to save the marriage. I did all I could to reach out to the woman, but she was unwilling, completely unwilling to speak to me. Well, it's not her fault really, because at some point she was more willing to work on the marriage and the man wasn't. And now she had checked out and he was begging. So for me, that's the part that pains me most in our work, because I see the possibility of two people working out whatever challenges they have. If they have the right tools, they can work it out. But the willingness of the two partners to sit together and work it out, and to do it early. Because if you do it early, it's just like going to the hospital. They tell us many times that early diagnosis of a lot of sicknesses makes it easy for treatment to be possible and more. But many people wait too late until they are tired, they are emotionally drained, they don't have the strength anymore to face any more challenges in that relationship. So for me, that's my biggest pain, and I'm hoping that with time we'll begin to embrace more, to talk about our issues, so that we don't wait too late. So the first people I'll mention as role models are Mr. and Mrs. Innocent Usa. Mr. Usa runs Innocent Minds Consulting, training and consulting, and I've been blessed by those two people. I've learned from them, from their lives. I've been able to understudy them. I've worked with them, so they are my role models. They've taught me a whole lot. But I also have people that I've learned from virtually. Tony Robbins is one of them. Robert Dilts is another great role model that I've learned a lot from. I've learned from researchers like Dr. John Gottman and Julie Gottman. Most of what we do, we have learned from them with regards to marriage coaching and how to create interventions for couples. I've also learned a lot from Dr. Michelle Wiener Davids and Dr. Sue Johnson. So I have a whole lot of models, but I think that this gives a good direction. And then for people wanting to get into speaking or wanting to get into a marriage coaching, marriage therapy, whatever it is, the first thing I would say is get role models, get people you will learn from. You know, many times, especially in our times and in the seasons where we live, a lot of people are more interested in, I have passion for this. I know that this is my purpose. Let me just get running and start doing stuff without first seeking to learn, first seeking to understand what happens in the system. So getting a role model will do a lot. Then if you can, and you should, volunteer, do volunteering work. Volunteering is another beautiful way to learn on the job. There's a difference between knowing something mentally and having experiential knowledge with it. So if you volunteer, you work with people that are speaking, work with people that are coaching, doing therapy, you would see things that they can never teach you in a book. You will learn things that no book will be able to write, because those things happen at the spur of the moment, and you will just be there to benefit from that bulk of knowledge. Then of course, read. We never learn enough. We never get to the place where we have known it all. One interesting thing about science, about humans especially, is that there's always an outlier in every theory, every system, every structure. There's someone that it may not work for. So you keep learning, you keep improving. That's why there are still researches going on. People are still learning more about the human being, more about our world and everything. So learning is something you cannot take away if you want to be outstanding in whatever you are doing. Okay, so well, I wouldn't say that marriage coaching has deprived me really, but like every other thing, when you become a leader in any sphere of life, you become more cautious of what you do, more cautious of how you present, so that the people learning from you can see in you a good example to follow. So for me, it's not a deprivation, it's just that it puts me in check. It puts me in check where I go to, how I dress, when I'm angry in traffic, what I choose to do, because I'm not only representing myself now, I'm representing hope for somebody else who is coming after me and looking up to me as someone to learn from, or as a role model. So that's it. And then for cross-cultural marriages, well, it's been interesting. My husband is from Benue State, and I am he's Idoma. I'm Limba from Sierra Leone. So it's been an interesting mix. Our house is fun. We've been able to integrate our food, so we eat both Sierra Leonean meals and Nigerian meals. Now, when we eat Nigerian meals, we don't just eat things that are particular alone to Benue State. We eat from every part of Nigeria. Once we like the food, we cook it in our house. So our children have the benefit of having more options of African meals in our home. We have been able to create a family culture. Like, one of the things I teach is that every family, even if you're not married to somebody else, you are not married from another culture or another tribe that is different from yours, you are marrying from another home that had a culture that you didn't grow up in, because every home has a system with which they operate, and that is a culture in itself. So when we come together, we would be bringing in bits and pieces of those cultures that we grew up in, and then also creating from the things we didn't like, from the things we wish had been done differently. We also create new things and create now a fine blend, a mix of that, to have our own culture, which is unique to our home and all. So it's a beautiful experience to have that kind of relationship. And once you're able to do that blend, it will be wonderful, it will be beautiful. Okay, then for Nigerian men, well, humans are humans. If you ask me, because of the man I am married to, I would say Nigerian men are the best. Well, but if they are not the best, I married one of the best.